Hey guys, how are you guys? Hey Republican, hey Wendy, hey Ray, hey Pat, hey old Blue Eyes, hey Rose. I'm not gonna catch everyone's name. Hey Nene. So as you guys know, tonight is a really big interview. I am here interviewing with Sheila Wysocki,
Wysocki.
Wysocki, who also has a Patreon. If you want the inside stuff, definitely check out her Patreon, and I will leave a link in the description below. As you guys know, I also have a Patreon. Um, just to let you guys know right off the bat, from here, this is gonna be my last interview that I do general public. From now on, I'm gonna do interviews for Patreons only, and then bring it to the general public. So I just want to throw that out there. So if you guys want to see interviews firsthand, I'd advise you to become a Patreon. And I know as a Patreon of Sheila's, she gives a ton of info, a lot more than I do. But she gives a ton of info, emails out every day and everything. So definitely check that out. And Best Nail Tech says she's super hooked on your podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So before we get started, Sheila, introduce yourself, even though you don't really need an introduction, but introduce yourself.
I'm Sheila Wysocki. I'm a private investigator and I was working the Lauren Agee case.
And you have a podcast called.
I have a podcast called Without Warning, the Lauren Agee case. And each time I add a case, it'll be, without warning, whatever the next case is.
Okay. Now, the reason why that I wanted to. Let me just make this a little bigger. Okay. All right. All right. Is that better, guys? Bigger? Tina, I was one step ahead of you. Hey, Steve. Hey, Serenity. Hey, Sugar. Hey, Vapin. So Nini's listened to the podcast 3 times, she said. All right. So
Oh, thank
as
you.
as you guys know, Greg yelled at me last night for not watching this video. So I did watch about 3/4 of it today when I was doing my makeup. Um, a lot of things that he did say last night, Sheila had questions on in this video, and it was the exact same way I was thinking. So it was pretty interesting listening to her talk because I was like, that's what I'm saying. So we're going to get right down to it. I know there's a lot of questions. I also have a ton of questions for her that I have mapped out. Hey, Susan. All right. So, first things that I want to start with is like the easiest ones, not in any particular order, but the rape kit law. I can't understand. Now, I live in Alabama. I grew up in New York, but I live in Alabama, which is only next state from Tennessee, and we have all the wackiest laws ever. But why wouldn't the hospital automatically do a rape kit on any murder of a female, especially a young, beautiful female? And I understand that it's the laws of the state that the police have to order it. Is there a particular reason why?
So I'm going to a couple of things. First of all, there are cases that we have found that the police did not order it, and the medical examiner still did a rape kit.
Okay.
It is inexcusable. There is no reason whatsoever they should have done it. The hospital, they have Lauren's body for just a little bit. It is actually the responsibility of the medical examiner. And in Tennessee, in Nashville, the medical examiner has been under fire for the last year and a half with some issues. So I think we have a problem.
Okay.
This is just one of many problems. The other problem with the medical examiner is ruling a lot of cases suicide versus other things. So I think we have an issue. And again, here's the thing people don't understand. These are human beings. These are your next door neighbors, or the people you pass in the grocery store. It's not this big authority that is just God.
Mm-hmm.
Your neighbor. It should, it should be very simple. They should use common sense and say, that could be my daughter. Now, I believe that Jeremy Taylor said to the medical examiner, it was an accident, she fell off the cliff. We know. The medical examiner said, oh, okay.
Jeremy Taylor was the lead detective, just in case anyone doesn't know, the lead detective who never took a homicide case before, which is my next question. Never took a homicide case before, did not know what to do, did nothing right, and sure enough, here we are.
Didn't do anything. Not did nothing right. Did not do anything.
Now, the one thing that I don't understand about him not doing anything, I looked up, and I said this to you on your Facebook post, I looked up the area. It's not a safe area. It's not like it was one crime or one murder in the last 20 years. They have a lot of murders. Why would they... It's actually a two-part question. Why would they use somebody so brand new? And two, as horrible as this is going to come out, you're a private investigator, so you know what's behind it. Lauren was an absolutely stunning young white girl. Why did they just blow it off? Because that's not the norm, and you know that. That's not the norm.
Right. You're 100%.
And I hate to say it like that, but it's true.
Oh, I agree with you, and I agree wholeheartedly with you. Jeremy Taylor, I'm going to take it in slices. Jeremy Taylor was the homicide person because he was next in line, and Sheriff Patrick Gray, it all falls to this Sheriff Patrick Gray.
Okay.
He was just reelected in August. But he chose Jeremy Taylor. My opinion, and my opinion alone, is, I don't know if you would agree, he can control Jeremy Taylor.
Okay.
And from what I understand, I've got a lot of people in Smithfield talking to me. Sheriff Patrick Gray controls everything. So when there's a stop on the road, Sheriff Patrick Gray is in charge of it. So don't think for a minute Jeremy Taylor wasn't on the phone talking to Gray.
Okay.
That's the first thing.
I could swear it was Chris Stout's interview that someone asked him, whoever, I forgot who the interview was, but interviewing him, stating that was he related to anybody in the police department? And I could swear he said yes. It was hard to hear, but I could swear he said yes.
I don't believe he is related to anybody in the police department, and I would tell you if he was.
Okay. Are any of them, even Binks?
There is question about one of them, that there's some relation, the family relations. And you're talking about your Bricks?
Bricks, yeah.
He's the one that I've gotten people to tell me to look into. That's not a priority to me to find out the heritage. We know something's wrong in that department. It's not going to change the case.
Now, I remember hearing somewhere, I don't think it came from you, but I remember hearing somewhere that Lauren's family has a lot of money. She came from money. And obviously Bricks' family came from money.
So isn't that interesting? Thank you for asking that.
You're welcome.
I definitely want to address this. So Sherry and Mike Smith, Lauren's mother and stepfather, they work. They're not wealthy people. What the money they've used on this case was Lauren's college money, her wedding money. They drained, their retirement. So they're not wealthy people.
I know what you mean.
I mean, they have money. Don't get me wrong. And Sherry she's a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
Dresses well. She's in real estate. She works. Her husband works incredibly hard to pay these bills. So it's not like they're sitting
Okay.
around writing checks. And I don't know his income, and there's a lot of speculation on him. I don't really know. I know he has toys that I don't know how you afford at that
I
age.
was just going to say that 19, 20 years old with their own boat, parents probably have money. So I get it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what they do for what his dad does for a living, but there seems to be no wants there.
Okay. And the second part about her being so beautiful, being just blown off.
So let me tell you why I think this case was blown off, and it actually boils down to Sherry Smith.
Okay.
So we're in the Deep South. We're in Smithville, Tennessee, where women should not have a voice. And women should not question authority at all. And what's happened is Sherry came on strong saying, wait, this isn't making sense. And she kept coming on strong, and she kept coming on strong. And the audio that's being released this week, it's painful listening to it because Jeremy Taylor totally blows Sherry Smith off. Sheriff Patrick Ray, he's not going to have a woman question him. Nobody in that county in authority is going to have a woman question them.
Wow, you would think in 2019 it would be different, but wow.
You know better.
That's interesting. All right. And one question that kept coming up last night that I'm going to get out of the way now because everyone's wondering, the tampon. We've had many different theories that it has to do with water skiing. That when you go water skiing, you usually use a tampon for whatever reason. Other people speculated. Yeah, someone sent me a whole thing on it today. Then the other reason is that she was expecting her period. But they originally thought she had a period, but you said that she didn't have her period. So what was the speculation? I know that you can't answer why they didn't test anything, why they didn't test under her fingernails. I know you can't answer those, so I'm not even going to bother with that.
Right. Well, it's incompetence. And it's despicable that happened. But, okay, so I go by science, and I love science.
Okay.
And so phone calls were made to her OBGYN. OBGYN at that age. And so her doctor, her cycle was they weren't in sync.
Okay.
And if you look at the autopsy report, it talks about the lining on her uterus and I can't think of the name, but anyway, the thickness. I can't think of the name, the thickness. And so it did not line up with Lauren. Bottom line, Lauren being on her period. Why she had a tampon in? You know what? I never heard the water skiing theory, but I've heard everything from it was soaked in alcohol. It was.
I heard that one.
Inserted it. You know, it was a ploy. I don't know. We don't know.
Let me find that answer. Because it was a whole long response. Okay. Regarding the tampon, a little known hazard among water skiing and water sports in general is injury to the vaginal and rectal walls due to high water pressure entering the area causing tears and ruptures. It's referred to as the water ski douche or the water ski enema, and it's serious enough to be potentially fatal. I found this out from a quick Google. I would recommend talking to some avid water skiers and asking if inserting tampons has been known to be a preventive measure among women, maybe even men too, who knows. Professional and semi-pro skiers know to wear appropriate gear for the protection, tight, well-fitted material, but I can easily see a younger party crowd, particularly bikini wearers, concocting such a workaround. And there's an article for it.
Interesting. Never heard that theory before. I don't know. I just don't know. The only other thing, there is one thing that I think needs to be addressed is at one point someone said that Lauren was in white shorts. And
Okay.
I don't know a female that would wear white shorts having their period.
That's true too.
So that has always played with me a little bit, that, it just doesn't add up. And let me tell you, the research I've done, the victimology on Lauren, she was a girly girl. She was a girly girl.
Mhm.
She's not going to be somebody who's putting on white and having red blood on a white pair of shorts.
So now there was another theory, just jumping around. The theory that she changed, or that her clothes were different. Was that in conjunction with the white shorts? I mean, with the white bathing suit?
So she had on, according to the witnesses, and we actually spoke to witnesses. I know that's shocking, but so we spoke to several witnesses of what she wore that night at Fishlets.
Okay.
She had a dark colored like top and white long shorts, and what she was found in were
Pink and black.
It was the bright fuchsia, shorts, a hoochie mama kind, and that's what concerned Sherry is Lauren didn't own hoochie mama kind of shorts, and the reason Sherry was adamant about that, Sherry bought her clothes. Lauren did not have a job, so Sherry bought her clothes, and Sherry was also the mom that packed. And so,
oh God,
yeah. So I mean, it's just
I get it.
They're so. I mean, I don't have a daughter, so I don't know. But they were such a cute little pair.
Okay.
But that's the thing is, I think this mama would know.
I have a daughter and 2 sons, so I get it. I get it. All right. And next question is, Bricks was on the cliff that night, but
Yes.
Nobody ever talks about Bricks being on the cliff that night. It's always been, well, I went to sleep and he was here. They were in the tent, or they were on the other side. When and how did Bricks come into the picture of being on the cliff?
That was probably the shock for me. So I knew Bricks was somebody. Well, 2 things happened on Bricks. Sherry said to me, "You've got to talk to this Bricks person," and she explained he came to the house right after Lauren's death, kind of fishing.
At least someone did, though.
Yeah,
unlike the other 3.
That was true. But he was there to find out what she knew.
Mm-hmm.
And so we knew he was somewhere involved, that he set up the camp. Well, when I called him, as an investigator, you call people, and he blew up at me, which is not a normal reaction. If I called you and said, "Hey, Laura, I got to talk to you about, you being on the cliff and what you remember," wouldn't you just go, "Okay, I remember this"?
Exactly.
This kid blew up so much so that I held the phone. I was at Panera in Hendersonville, and I held the phone out while he was having his little fit. And I hung up the phone from him, called Sherry, and I said, "Look, I don't know what this kid did, but that's not a reaction you have when someone calls you."
Exactly.
So I knew something wasn't right with him. The second thing that happened was 2020 came and did 2 of my cases, and they aired it. And when they aired it, the houseboat people came forward. And that's why I love the media, transparency.
Yeah.
So they said, "Why did we not ever talk about Bricks?" And I said, "Tell me what you know." And that's how he came about.
Okay. I listened to the interrogations or interviews of Chris and Hannah. Neither one ever mentioned Bricks, did they?
No.
All right, I didn't think so.
Nobody did. Chris, Hannah, or Aaron. None of them.
All right, this is going to sound cliche almost, but I almost feel like the rich kid that rapes people. Like, the feeling I'm getting is like, you watch these movies where the super rich kid is the one that is the lead of the football team, is the one that actually rapes the girls, but he's got all the money, so everybody is too petrified to say anything. That's kind of the feeling that I was getting off Bricks, that his money is buying him out of stuff. If he did kill her, I'd be scared if he's going to kill me too. You know, I don't know if I'd say anything, because maybe he's going to kill me next if I say anything. I mean, if he just killed her. So is it possible that his money has gotten him out? Like, is his dad any political figures or anything? No.
So his father's not a political figure. That's an interesting theory. It is an interesting theory. I don't know. I really don't know. I do know that we had someone who called in saying he was the one, and we played it, that, you know, according to Chris, when they were in jail together. And, you know, I don't know. I know my theory of what happened, and I probably, actually, it would be Gray approved because it's so plausible. So, and Gray's helping me on the animation for it. So,
yeah, he was showing me last night the animation he's doing on the Jonathan case. He's like, I spent like a month doing this, and I was like, that's cool. I was like, I don't have the time, but that's awesome.
Yeah, and I need that because I'm a visual person.
Exactly.
And with Mark Gillespie, who's my forensic guy, and then I've got some, you know, trace evidence people, Mike Martinez and people, all working together. I think we can come up with how she died, who the actual person was to place in there. There's a couple of choices.
Hold on. I don't know why this thing doesn't go away. The alert just doesn't go away. Hang on, guys. There it is. But yeah, that's the feeling that I've gotten from Bricks. Is he's 19 or 20 and owns his boat, which is not normal either. I did hear you say about Gray's theory, or your theory, or somebody's theory, that they, or a viewer's theory, that they gave the boat, he may have given the boat to Chris or whatever as payment or something.
That's not for me.
Oh, all right. I heard somebody say it.
That's not for me.
And that's why I'm like, this just, something isn't right. Like, he really just reminds me of the football player that rapes people, and money, daddy gets him out of everything. And daddy, I killed someone. It was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. Dad says, okay. And that's why I'm saying it kind of sounds cliche, but all right, this is what you need to do. Cover the body. Bring the body here. Blah, blah, blah. But you know what I mean? Something. That's...
Well, his father served time for murder also.
Bricks' father?
Yes.
Well, that throws a wrench in the politician theory, but he served time for murder. That's kind of looking more and more like, well, he would know what to do. Well, then again, he got caught, but yeah, that's interesting. Maybe he's
pretty bad.
Is the murder connected to anybody in the police department? Like, not connected, but I mean, is he an informant? Is he anything connected to Jeremy Taylor or the other one? Do you know what I'm saying? Not like that he murdered four of them, but
a confidential informant.
Yes.
I don't. You know, I think that was I should have looked back. I think they did ask if any of the kids were confidential informants, and Jeremy Taylor said no. But I always question anything that Jeremy Taylor says because I'm not sure he knows everything.
Okay. Other question on this. All right. So she went, and guys, I'm so sorry I'm not watching chat yet. I will once I'm done with all the questions. She supposedly, theory goes, she was on the cliff.
Right.
She fell the opposite way of what the she should have fell if she fell right off, correct? All right.
Wait, I'm not following you. I'm sorry about the fall.
Yeah, it's something about, I remember hearing this. It's something about she should have fell on the left side, but she ended up falling on the right side. Like if she accidentally fell off the cliff, she would have landed on the other side, or the other side of what she actually landed on.
So if there was an actual fall,
Yes.
she would have been on the marina side.
Okay.
It wasn't an actual
She was on the
fall.
other. Okay.
On the opposite side of the marina, the cove side,
Okay.
never would have made it down to the water.
Okay.
The marina side, though, people would have seen her.
That's what I was thinking too. That I was trying to close in on the bushes and the branches by the canoe. Nothing was broken. There were no broken branches anywhere. There's no way she fell.
She never floated over to that second cove. Let's be very clear about that. We've spent a lot of time with I know more about hydrologists than I'll ever want to know in my entire life.
Okay.
Not float to that second cove.
Okay. Is it possible that she never went back up and maybe her and Bricks went for a walk? Did she know Bricks? Well, was she more closer with Bricks than she was with the other two guys? Like, was Bricks the ex-boyfriend that they were talking about?
No.
It wasn't. Okay.
No, and they all knew each other. They had spent the night before all together. And so, it was a situation where she knew Bricks from the community because he lived in Hendersonville.
Okay.
She knew him from the community. Chris was the only new guy around. And everybody said that they had a thing. Not even if you watch the video on my site, if you see when he passes her face, I'm not saying I'm an expert on reading faces, but I know when girls are like, ugh, it was that moment. And plus interviewing different people, she didn't have a thing for Chris.
Okay. Gray just came in. I saw him say hi.
Hey, Gray. We're talking about him.
He heard.
He knows it's all good things for me.
For me too. All right. And once did Bricks ever admit to being on the cliff?
Now, he has never spoken to me.
Okay.
Because he, had his little hissy fit. So, and he lawyered up after that. He told me I could talk to the lawyer, and I'm like, okay, what's your lawyer's name? Couldn't remember or tell me or anything. It was such a tantrum type attitude.
Okay.
And he's older than 1920. He's like 26, 27.
Then? Or now?
Now. He's older.
Okay.
He's not a young kid. He was one of the older ones. So it's been, 5 years. Then he was about 22-ish. But anyway, so no people have talked to him. So we've gotten tips from people that are now hearing the podcast who were friends with him. They are definitely giving me insight to who he is. Now he's moving according to Paraguay. He's going to Paraguay according to his social media.
Why?
That's a great. I have a theory on that. Why Paraguay is so important to move to, but it could be just moving here and it's social media misinformation.
Do they have what's the word? Yeah, extradition.
I already looked. They do, but it's very easy to get around it.
Interesting.
A few bribes here and there.
All right. You had mentioned, and Gray, I finally watched a video today when I was getting ready, so I'm there. I saw it. While he's in here, though, let me ask you about that. So, last night I was arguing with him that the white lines are important on her stomach. And he was saying they weren't. I said, but they are. You can't look at something and just not look at the whole picture. And we got into a debate. He's like, they're pointless. Why does it matter? But because it matters. You have to look at the whole picture. When I watched the video, though, I see why he got mad at me, because it matched perfectly with this blanket that would have been on. So I said, all right, now that makes sense why he got, aggravated with me saying it. Sorry, I hadn't watched it yet.
Never.
But I agree with you that if her knee, and once he showed me the patch and then her knee over it, I absolutely agree with him. Hands down, that's what it was.
Right.
But if it went on her knee, why didn't it go on her stomach? It's the same flooring. It's the same movement. And if she was pressed down, just like her knee was pressed down, why wouldn't it have gone on it?
The bra.
Okay.
The shirt and the bra.
Okay. Did they pull her shirt down? Because when she was floating, it was only her stomach was still open.
Yeah, I think it's the bra and I think it's the shirt. And believe me, I've spent 5
I can imagine.
And listen, this is the stuff that keeps me up at night. Honestly, that's the stuff that drives me crazy. And the fact that John Lorden and Gray spent the time to go over it, and this isn't just one day.
Yeah, I believe it.
About a year and a half.
Yeah.
So the fact that they came back, and John knows me well enough to know you have to prove it to me, because I'm not going to buy in. I absolutely, I hate saying this with Gray on, but he is 100% right. And it was such a great moment, Laura, because it does keep me up at night.
I understand.
So I think it is from the rescue boat. And when I went to see the rescue boat, I called Gray and I said, I think it's from the rescue boat. We're not going to talk about it until we can prove otherwise.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll buy it. I'll buy it. I believe it.
Laura, I went back and forth, and I really, prior to that last 10-minute video, you could have talked me out of it. But once John and Gray did it and proved it to me, I told John it was one of the greatest moments ever that guys outside of this case could do what they did. I'm so grateful.
Because once I saw the canoe, I knew it wasn't the canoe because it was hollow in the middle, and the way they did the coloring, it wasn't hollow. So I knew that wasn't it. But I hadn't watched it until today. So I'm like, I'm going to prove Gray wrong. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it.
So
and then once I saw that, and I was like, oh, I'm on some with these bubbles. It can't be that because of the bubbles. So, and then, like I said, when you said, well, how come it doesn't show that mark? I'm like, aha, I'm right there with her. And then now that you explained it, all right, I'm not going to fight anymore.
I have to give kudos to that 10-minute video being done after the public, and I call her, God forbid, she's called the vegetable lady. She sent me an email and cut up vegetables showing me. And I sent it on to John and I said, hey, I'm working today. I don't have time to look at this, but it makes sense to me. And that's what started it. So again, crowdsourcing this stuff with the public, like you and Gray and all the people listening, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. Now with the knee, because Gray didn't totally remember last night, he was pointing out in the video, and he also pointed out last night, that the darks, and it was more of a forensic question, that the dark spots were kind of like backwards, like it shouldn't have been like that. Did a forensic scientist or analyst ever explain that? Because if they did, Gray couldn't remember.
Yes, actually Mark Gillespie did, but I don't remember what he said. All brief to me, but I think it's even on John's audio video. So, what is it? Brain Scratch. So I think it's on there. We called in the middle of it, Mark, and he's so funny. I called him and I said, "Where are you?" And he said, "I'm leaving jail." Now, in my profession, that's nothing, but they were like, "What?" You know?
Okay. One of the things you talked about is Hannah got removed from being a suspect, correct?
What do you mean?
That out of the four of them.
Oh, you mean in the legal aspect of it?
Yes.
She was so the judge in Smithville. Remember what I said about authorities in Smithville?
Mm-hmm.
He removed Hannah. However, the Supreme Court the appellate court in Nashville berated him, gave him a Southern smackdown. The judge,
Okay.
and put her back on.
Nice.
It was great.
I heard you talking about like court and how she never wins no matter what. She's gone in there and she's never won. I went through that. I know what that feels like. So I started to like smile and I get that totally.
Well,
and it sucks.
Down to Sherry's a strong, aggressive woman, and this judge was not having either Sherry or me, and he made it very clear he didn't like either one of them.
Wow. What was the time of death?
Our time of death, or the time she was found, is 4:30 on the 26th.
Your time of death.
I met with a medical examiner who said that she hadn't been there too long. I asked her, so the last time we knew she was alive outside the campers was the witnesses at the bar and the boat people. So we know she was alive at 3 a.m. She was found at 4:30. The medical examiner that I used said that she probably 8 hours earlier, not 13 hours.
So 8 hours would have put her first thing in the morning.
Right.
So it wouldn't have been dark enough for her to fall off a cliff because she went to the bathroom.
Yeah. So which story, depending on who you ask on that one, that came from, I think that was one of Hannah's and Aaron's at the beginning until they were called out on it.
Okay. And
nobody would have heard her and her pants would have been up. I doubt that.
Okay. And I remember that also her stuff, Whiskey, don't ever be a detective. That her stuff was, her shoes and everything were lined up perfectly outside of the tent.
The pictures, and I say crime scene photos, I don't know what else to call them, the scene photos, they were lined up. Whereas Chris Yarchuk, when he saw them, and that was kind of a break in the case, I sat down with him, and he's like, where were these taken? And I said, they were taken by the police. He said, this is not where I saw them. So that was my first indication that they had been moved.
Interesting. Thank you, Poppins. I saw it. Oh, there it is. Thank you. With the, like I said, I'm jumping around. With the time of death, though, many of the theories were that Chris went to bed and woke up and she was nowhere to be found. Then the other theory was he said that he or somebody saw her and then he just passed out. You know, they were going to share a hammock and maybe she went to the bathroom. But if that's why I was wondering about the time of death, because if she was only dead from 7, 8 in the morning, one, aren't there going to be boaters out? I mean, it was Wakefest.
Right.
There's going to be people standing around. There's going to be people up 5, 6 in the morning because they're still partying from the night before. I mean, these are college kids. To me, you can't, as a cop, as a detective, you can't even logically say she fell off a cliff at 8 o'clock in the morning. Or even if it was an extra hour, it would just be impossible to jump off a cliff and nobody saw her in the thank you, Supercell, and you saw her at these early hours in the morning. It doesn't make sense. Like, even for an inexperienced detective, okay, let's see. If she was found at 4:30, Emmy says she was dead about 8 hours. That's 8 in the morning on a Sunday morning during Wakefest. How these people, they're going to be everywhere. Like, kids are going to be everywhere. Some are going to be passed out, drinking from the night before. And then Chris says her and Hannah were on the houseboat, and then later on says that he was in the hammock and he woke up and she was gone. So it's like, which was it?
And understand that hammock was a single person hammock. So if you're going to move around in that thing, you're going to know something. And you're a 20-something-year-old boy with hormones raging, you're not going to notice the females moving. Come on. So that's always been ridiculous to me. And you're not going to feel someone getting out of that. They never got in. See, of course, they never got in there together. That was such BS. So that can be disproven.
So then what happens if... All right. Hannah knew... This is another red flag. Hannah knew... Lauren didn't, but Hannah knew that she was going to this camping site to meet these guys. They knew there were 2 and 2. Why did he only have a single hammock?
Well, they had 6 hammocks.
Oh, okay.
6 single person hammocks. And they had 2 tents with 2 blow-ups in them, and there was a lot of room for people to be up there.
Okay. So then why... All right, if it was just supposed to be the 4 of them, how come nobody questioned why they had all this extra stuff if they claimed it was only the 4 of them?
Well, I think it's just to have a lot of people coming and going. I think, it was a party place. So I actually don't think that is a big clue as far as, I just think people were coming and going. It's kind of like any party, people just show up. And I think that group liked a lot of activity.
No, that I get. I'm thinking of, is it like with Bricks and not admitting he was up there? As a detective, one of the first things I would have said, well, if it was only the 4 of you and nobody else was up here, why do you have so much extra material? That's what I was getting at.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, the detective wasn't. They were taking selfies, for God's sake. They weren't interested in what was going on up there. What I understand from people in Smithville, whatever is said to the police, the very first thing, and this is not just Lauren's case, whoever they hear first, she fell off the cliff, she was drunk. That's it. They don't do anymore. And you have to look at how many female bodies are in that river.
Okay. If she had a separate hammock, she had a boyfriend, she had an ex-boyfriend, whatever, why would Chris think that she was going to sleep with him when she could have had her own hammock?
Doesn't that make a better story?
That's true too. Yeah, I guess you're right.
I think what the problem was from day one was they had a story they were going to tell. They separated Hannah and Aaron, and Hannah was interviewed by Chris Yarchuk, who happened to be someone who saw them that night.
Okay.
And he panicked. The story they were going to tell, she didn't come back, was all screwed up. Because Chris says, wait a minute, I know you came back. I saw you. Okay. I saw you guys get in the boat and leave.
Okay.
I think that was going to be the line, and she never came back from the bar.
Okay. My more detailed question that I've been wondering, on the back of her, I don't remember which side it was.
Oh.
People talked about it was a bite mark.
Oh, it was on her breast.
There was something on her back. It was bruised.
2 scrapes.
What was it?
There are 2 symmetrical scrapes, like when you drag someone and they.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, because I thought someone had said it was a bite mark, and I'm like, I know there was one on the other side, but that doesn't look like a bite mark because it's square. There's no way.
Those are scrapes. On her breast, we had a dentist identify it as a bite mark.
But he couldn't identify the teeth? Or the mark in it?
So the campers have taken their 5th and refused to turn over their dental records.
All of them?
All of them, except for Chris, didn't take the 5th. So that's why we have a deposition, but he was in jail. That was a problem for him. He had to answer the question.
Wow. That's interesting. And there was they couldn't press it for more? They couldn't press, like, to make sure they got dental records? That's crazy.
We're in Tennessee.
That's crazy.
We're in Smithville, Tennessee, under this judge.
That's insane. One more question I have, then I'll open up to them, is, oh my God, now I forgot. It came up when we were talking. Her nose. I know it was said. Now, obviously, being immersed in water, you're going to be puffy, no matter who knows how long she was in water. But her nose was definitively broken. It
was, and Gray, God love him, has a great video. Do not post it, Gray. I'll beat you if you did. But it shows, and I'm giving him kudos on it, but it shows a progression of her when she was alive and then when she was dead. Mm-hmm. And how amazing that a medical examiner missed that. It's ridiculous.
Can that be brought up in the trial?
So I don't know what's going to happen in the legal system. I don't. Because remember, Smithville, Tennessee, Judge Young still has this case. So can it be?
But can't they recuse the judge as well and get a different judge? Or it's that small of a town, there's only one judge?
I don't know how the legal system works. That's something I stay away from.
Okay. Recusing a judge is if a judge is bad and won't ever give you anything. You can ask them to step down for bias or whatever the reason. Doesn't guarantee that your next judge is going to be any better. You could get a judge that's worse, but you take your chances if you think you're really being biased against.
I've never understood why this case was not taken to federal court since it happened on federal lands. Never understood that.
I was going to say, if any other private investigators look into it, but you are the private investigator, so that's why I was wondering, any connection anywhere? I mean, if Brix's father was a murderer, and he went to jail for murder, there has to be something underlying in there of why he's getting away with this. Like, or even like they're all getting away with it, not showing medical record. Maybe they're scared of this guy. Like, that's interesting. I'm going to look more into that. I'm curious.
What do you think?
I'm curious about that. There's got to be something to that somewhere. There's a connection there somewhere. That's weird. Unless his mom is like just totally rich and ended up with a guy like that. I don't know.
His mom and dad don't live together.
Stepfather?
I don't know. We'll talk sometime off record.
All right. Definitely. All right. So I don't have any more questions personally. I know some of the chat does. So guys, I'm opening the floor to you. Whiskey, don't become a detective. Vicky, this is Sheila Wysocki, who owns the podcast or does the podcast for, it's called Without Warning, and it's all about the Lauren Agee case, and they also have she's doing 2 other cases. Hey, Jill. She's doing 2 other cases as well. So I'm going to ask her about the other cases that Grace spoke about and one she's working on for the future. But if you guys have any questions that I didn't cover, let me know now. And you can ask her now. So while I'm waiting for questions, what, I'm glad she does. What, your other cases are Jonathan, and then there's a new case you're starting, right?
The culpable podcast.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta let the dog out. Come on, dog. Hey, no, go. Culpable podcast.
Which is, by the way, #1 in the world. It is, so if you listen to podcasts, it's about a case in Mississippi, which is very interesting, which is what I was telling you, my phone is blowing up because of some of the things that are going on with the AG's office. And that case is extremely interesting. They haven't announced that I brought in a team to investigate, but that's coming. Okay. And then the other case is Jonathan Cruz, and that podcast will come out, I think, around February. I try to drop it the day that we find the body's been found.
Okay.
February 2nd.
Okay. Can there be a second autopsy done?
So, yes, there can be, and that's been discussed on numerous occasions. I'm probably the worst at answering this of all questions because I'm opposed to exhuming a body. I've been through it with other families, and I'm absolutely opposed to it. And we have the information we need, I believe. Okay. But I have FBI friends that think we need to exhume the body, but I am usually with the family from start to finish, and it's hard. It's an awful, awful, awful thing to do.
Okay. Another question is, can the family request to exhume Lauren's body for testing? They don't want to do that.
They can't. Now, the family can do it. That's up to them. They know my feelings. But here's the biggest problem, Laura. Where do we take it? We're in Tennessee with a medical examiner.
That's true.
We do a rape kit. So do we take it out? I mean, this is a lot of money also for the family to do.
Yeah.
And who do you trust? Because we're slowly seeing what kind of investigation and the people in charge. So where do you take it after you take your beautiful child out of the ground?
That's true. And a couple of years later, there really wouldn't be evidence left. It would just be bones, isn't it?
I have some FBI friends that, former FBI, that think we should. I don't know. I know I don't have a place to take it. I don't trust the medical examiner here.
Now, nails don't disintegrate. Nails stay, right?
I think actually one of my cases that's what did it were the fingernails. So yes, I think that's okay. 30 years later, 25 years later.
Really?
Yeah, I think you're right.
So if they get the nails, if they can get DNA from the nails or something under it, one thing I don't know a lot about is water. Even if there was DNA, wouldn't that get some wiped away in the water or no?
So her body was, she went for a regular burial, and the people at the funeral home cleaned her up. I doubt they didn't scrub her fingernails.
Okay. That's a good point.
I think they took a lot of care on Lauren.
Oh. Ask her about the wrongful death suit to subpoena the 4 that were known, actually 5 to subpoena, were known to be up there for info under oath. They're criminals, though, except for Hannah. The other a bunch of criminals.
They took the 5th. You can't force them to answer questions.
All right. Has the marks on her inner upper arm been looked into further?
Upper arm. They asked them to be a little more specific.
More specific, Letha.
Everything's been looked at. There isn't anything on Lauren's body or this case we haven't looked at.
Okay. Someone says that I work really close to Smithville. I was oddly enough told by someone who's lived there her entire life, if you want to get away with murder, Smithville, Tennessee is the place to do it.
I'm not disagreeing.
Okay. Oh, the funeral attendees. I also looked into Chris's Twitter. He seems to disappear in the winter and post from like June to, or like May until July or August, and then stops again. He has a pattern of this for like 2 years.
He has been in jail for a while.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was then. But even after, why not post something about her? Why not? I mean, if you didn't do it, she still killed somebody. I mean, someone was still murdered, someone that you were with. Why not acknowledge it? And if you did do it, why not acknowledge it? You know what I mean? That I found odd. Was there ever any explanation for that, or?
It was the best weekend ever for him. Same with Briggs. Great weekend, great friends. I mean, that's the mentality. So a girl died. No big deal, evidently, in their life. To the rest of the world, it's a big deal, but not to them.
Rumor has it that Hannah and Aaron got married because you can't testify against your spouse. Fact or fiction?
They did get married.
Okay. Do you believe that there's fact or fiction in there? That's the reason they did it?
I think they got married because she was pregnant. My opinion was she was pregnant and they got married.
Okay. Because husband and wife can't testify against each other, so that's why I thought there may be something to that.
I don't personally believe he had to worry about Hannah testifying against him.
Why?
From all the interviews I did from her ex-boyfriends,
okay,
she would be 100% for the boyfriend or the husband.
Even if it was her going to jail?
I do not believe she would ever testify again.
Wow. All right. That could explain it. Tracy, I agree with you. The case is frustrating.
Oh.
Tina, she wouldn't know why they didn't go to the funeral. She has no way to know. What did the parents say that Hannah didn't go to the funeral? I could see the guys not going, but what did the family say that she didn't go to the funeral?
Well, a couple of things about that, and this is opinion only, because I didn't have the case back then.
Okay.
That Hannah was probably not a welcome guest, because Hannah did not call Sherry and say, "Hey, your daughter's missing."
Mm-hmm.
So and Sherry is, she's dynamite. I mean, she is cute and adorable, and she will tell you what she thinks. So I think she probably made sure Hannah knew she wasn't, that welcome at the funeral. But I think it's because of Hannah's behavior of not calling her and telling her her daughter was missing.
Because they went out and partied. Because I remember hearing when I first started getting into the case that she called her friend to try to pick her up because she didn't want to stay there. She wasn't having a good time. They ended up leaving. Her friend didn't want to pick her up because there were too many tosses and turns. So the friend then turned around and said, okay, I can't come get you. Wait till tomorrow, whatever. And then she was going to call her mom, and she didn't call her mom, knowing that her mom should have came and picked her up, or would have came and picked her up. And then they took her keys, and that was the last, right?
So they took her keys originally, before all that. And there were 5 witnesses that I've spoken to that said she tried to either leave or have them come get her.
Okay. And that was on Friday night.
That was on Saturday night. The night that she did the fishlets and things like that.
Oh, I thought it was Friday night that happened, and then Saturday morning or Saturday night is when she never went back up the cliff. Now, Gray just said that the thing that bothers him the most is the interview of the boat on the boat of Hannah, and then at her apartment. He said her big deals to him in the case. Can you elaborate on that? What he's talking about? Because you would know.
I know what he's talking about. So one of the great things about Chris Yarchuk is he knew. First of all, he was an eyewitness and saw them the Friday and Saturday. And so he was smart enough to turn on his recorder when Hannah was talking to him initially.
Okay.
She told her story in the midst of talking to him, right doggone in the middle of it. Then when I went down to Florida, I was talking to her and the phone kept ringing and she was told to stick to the story. And we recorded that conversation, and she gave permission. It's a two-party state. She did give permission. And so Aaron was telling her to stick to the story. Well, you know what? What story? Just tell what happened.
Yeah.
What story are you sticking to? But Aaron had a pattern from his other situations he had gotten into where he told people to stick to the story. And so it wasn't anything different. Her story changes as you talk to her.
All their stories change, though. I mean, that was a given. They all did.
Yes.
What are the odds that this was a straight-up accident? In your professional opinion, just the odds alone. I'd say 0 to none. But in your professional opinion, seeing cases like this, seeing lots of cases, what do you think the odds are that it was a straight-up accident?
So when I take a case, I have to prove to myself there's a case.
Okay.
So we do the reenactment. And we do everything that everybody has said, whether it's the police report or witnesses or whatever. So based on taking a dummy and taking water jugs and everything else and buoys and everything and trying to make that particular dummy fall or end up in the water, I'd say 0 chances she ended up in the water.
Okay.
0 chances she fell. And I would say straight up accident. Did somebody potentially accidentally
kill her?
That could always happen.
Okay.
And then you try to, it's always the cover-up's worse than crime. But here's the thing. Why would you not say, oh my gosh, this terrible thing just happened?
Drunk and scared.
And you go and get the authorities and say, all they had to do is just leave things as they were and have the police come in, and nothing would have ever happened.
Drunk and scared is my opinion. But if but it throws a wrench in the time of death. If the time of death is 8 o'clock in the morning,
it could have been 6 o'clock in the morning.
Even 6, that's a little it's not like she died at 3 a.m. That you can come up with 15 different possibilities. But at 8 in the morning, or even 6 in the morning, I don't know. That's odd. It's weird.
Here's the thing, Laura, that I don't know the time of death, the actual time of death, and that's a best guess based on the lividity.
Okay.
But is that an actual? So I don't know.
Okay.
But, here's the other thing I wanted to say earlier about if she had fallen off the marina side. The bar was still open because they were counting money until 4 a.m.
Okay.
So then, the doors, they could hear things. And that's something I keep in mind is there were people on the marina side, and we did the thing where, how you do the echo, 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 can you hear?
Mm-hmm.
Sound travels. You could have heard because the band was done, the entire area was shut down. If somebody had fallen and screamed, which you would, Lauren was not a quiet child. So, I don't believe that when they said it was just.
But she didn't drown because there was nothing in her lungs.
She did not drown.
Okay. Did they think that she was... All right. How long was she actually immersed in water looking at the pruning and everything else? Could they tell?
I do not know that.
Okay. Because to me, that would make a difference too. Like, did they... My thought was on that was she immersed in water for 8 hours? The 8 hours that the ME says she was dead? Looking at the pruning, I think she would have been more pruned. So if that didn't happen, then who put her in the water and for how long? That was my theory on that. And there was nowhere to find out those answers.
We can forensically, my guy can give me an idea of how long she was in the water, but I don't believe she was in the water for 8 to 14 hours.
No, not at all. Looking at the pruning, I'd say it was about 2 hours, but I don't know pruning after death. Like, I don't know if you get less wrinkly or more wrinkly based on after death. Kind of like her knee was weird, like, I don't know that answer, but that's what I felt like that. My kids get pruned when they stay in a pool for like 2 hours straight. And only her fingertips were pruned. Her neck wasn't pruned. Her face wasn't pruned. It was distorted and it was swollen. But I'm like, that's not water for 8 hours. That's water for like 2, maybe 3 hours, of floating. And that's why your fingers are wrinkly. But again, I don't know about after death. So I don't know if that either slows it down or speeds it up or anything. That I didn't know. So, but that was another thing I wanted to ask you. She was not in the water long or she would have bloated. That's true. But she did bloat. You could see in her face she was bloated, but she wasn't completely bloated. Hey, Winky. Kim, Mommy of 3, you had a really good question that I forgot. It was about Hannah. Shannon, okay. Blue Eyes, she does. You keep in touch with the family regularly, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Mommy 3, that's my thought too, that everyone would be sober even if you were trashed. You'd be sober by 6, 8 in the morning. So one of my theories on that is, I would say in the morning, but they hid her somewhere. Then they went to Wakefest. They did their partying for the day, had a great time, came back and said, now we need to do something with her. And that's when they put her in the water. Or when everyone was at Wakefest, 2 of them came back, put her in the water. And then when everyone started coming back, then boom, there you are. And everyone else is, partying, first coming back. Oh my God, what happened? Nobody's going to see it because everyone was in the other direction. Am I on point with that?
I don't think I would disagree with you.
Okay. Let's see. The official cause of death was blunt force trauma, right? And then, speaking of the neck, you posted a picture on your Patreon with the neck and it was a little white. And you just said, like, what do people think of it?
Right.
Well, my daughter was a baby. Somehow, one piece of hair got wrapped around her toe and it puffed out. And I freaked out. I thought, like, she was dying or whatever. I didn't know what happened, but her toe was all puffy. Raced her to the emergency room. And it turns out the emergency room said it was a piece of hair. Wow. And that one strand of hair, probably from the laundry or my hair or something, one strand of hair wrapped around her toe, which puffed it out. So when I saw the neck, when you were showing the white, that's what it reminded me of. I'm like, I wonder if that was a single strand of hair that caught around her neck to make it look like there was a mark there or make it look like there was possibly something. But because there were no marks up or down, to me, I was that's what it looked like. It was a hair that got caught, or, her hair being in the water, and one single piece of hair made that mark. It was just a thought.
It could be. I have other theories on that, but it could be hair.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, the houseboat theory. What's the houseboat? People saying of the houseboat in question. I know Chris said the houseboat a couple of times, but there was never definitive about the houseboat.
So one of the statements that Hannah made was that Lauren went to a houseboat, and I think Chris did also. And one of the problems with that is I think Hannah and Deanna Elders had a conversation about, well, houseboat guy came and picked her up. Well, in the Cove area, you're not going to have a honking big houseboat go and pick someone up.
Okay.
In the middle of the night, are you kidding me? So that theory out there is absolutely ridiculous. The other problem with that is they got off the cliff and they used the canoe. The canoe was still there in the morning. Clue, that canoe's there. How did it get there?
Aha. Okay. Shut up, Whiskey. Another question was, they are the ones that told Sheila and Briggs was there because Hannah never mentioned them. Does Lauren's mom and dad have any other kids beside? No, that was their only child, right?
That is Sherry's only child. The stepfather, Mike, has children.
Okay.
Fantastic kids. It's heartbreaking.
And that's why law enforcement handed over there to the body. They knew exactly what they were going to see that made them go, All of those people knew it was their friend. Yeah. Has it ever been questioned? Because I didn't listen to all the interviews yet. Has it ever been questioned how they knew it was Lauren that they found? Like, there was a lot of kids there, a lot of people. What made them automatically say, oh, that could be our friend? Like, you heard it on the interview when he was talking to somebody. Was that ever questioned?
Yes. So the two heroes in this are Chris Yarchuk and Ryan Melanson, who did question a lot of stuff. And it was Aaron who brought Chris Yarchuk up to the cliff.
Okay.
And got Lauren's driver's license. Well, Chris Yarchuk already knew what Lauren looked like, so he was able to quickly identify. But the fact that you got these kids rowing in saying it's our friend was questioned, but not by Jeremy Taylor or Sheriff Patrick Gray.
Wow. Did the independent pathologist hired by the family determine her larynx was crushed? I read that somewhere. Her larynx.
Okay. So that was, so one of the things about Sherry is she's a mom. Mm-hmm. And when I said there was hemorrhaging in Lauren's throat, she thought I meant the larynx. That was a miscommunication. So Sherry put that out there. That is not accurate. But she was a mom trying to understand what I was telling her.
Okay. And how long did the parents go before they hired you or expected it was an accident? Like, did they automatically accept it was an accident just initially, or did they know instantly, like, not happening? Like, there was no way this was an accident. I know my daughter.
So, well, I was the third investigator.
Okay.
So the first investigator, he's the one, there's terrible audio, and I apologize for it, but he was going over, it's in the podcast where he goes over the autopsy reports, and it's amazing what he said to the family. But anyway, so he was the first investigator. The second investigator, Michael Sands, did a great job. Actually, an excellent job. I'm a huge fan of his. But a friend of mine and a friend of Sherry's wanted us to talk, and that's how I came into it.
Okay. One more question. that hasn't been asked. Toxology, she had no drugs, but she was drinking, right? Like there was alcohol in the system.
There's no question.
Will do, Nanny. Looking for one.
I want to point something out about that because I have a lot of people saying, she was drunk. So she had a lot of alcohol.
Mm-hmm. So did everyone else.
Yes, and she was on vacation. She was not driving. They say they took her keys away because they didn't want her to drive. I have questions about that. But why would you be calling people saying, come get me? I just have a lot of questions.
Okay.
Anyway, so she thought she was with people she could trust.
Mm-hmm.
She's 21 years old. Okay, she was drunk. Doesn't mean she deserved to end up dead.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that.
And we've got to stop blaming the victim. There's that just absolutely crawls all over me.
Okay. And guys, if you have any more questions about, actually, Mommy of Three, what was determined, it was a one-person hammock. It wasn't a two-person hammock. And if you guys have any other questions about the case, Sheila has a whole podcast with like 35 or 64. Yeah,
like
there's a lot of them.
Well, and the last day of this podcast will be July 26th.
Okay.
This first season's finished on July 26th. I'm dropping it at 4:30 and recapping this first season.
Okay. And what happens? Tell me about the lawsuit. It got reopened.
Yes.
And that's a positive thing because they can't seem to go after them criminally, so they're going after them civilly, correct?
Right. Okay. And there's some shenanigans going on with the other three defendants, and that will come out. I think Sherry's probably going to write a book, but there's some funkiness going on with the legalities of them being brought back into the lawsuit. But Hannah is still on the hook. It is still in Smithville. I don't expect Sherry to win anything. But she's going forward, and she is one tough cookie.
All right. To be honest with you, I would be too. I mean, that's my daughter, and I absolutely would do everything I can. And there's just so many weird things about this case that doesn't fit the norm. One of the main things being this is a young, beautiful white girl, and they usually investigate that. They want answers. It's very weird.
Not in Smithville, Tennessee.
It's so weird.
Shame on Tennessee for not doing the right thing.
That's crazy. So before you go, tell me about your other cases that you're working on.
So, well, I have several cases, but right now the culpable in the Mississippi case is taking up a lot of investigative time. It's what you call
sexy story. Okay.
Yeah, it was named a suicide. It does not point physically to forensically suicide, but the family's up against politics and police, and it is an unbelievable case that's unfolding as we speak.
That's my kind of story.
Yeah, it's a great case. Because
that is my case.
It's so cut and dry, and the politics are involved, so the families are not getting justice. And Laura, the only thing these families want is they want answers of what happened to their loved one. Is that unreasonable?
No, it's not.
We, as a public society, need to start holding people accountable because it is our neighbor. It's not this big God.
Absolutely. Oh, Letha's one of my patrons. She's also one of your patrons.
Oh, thank you.
And so she was saying the Christian case is very interesting.
Oh,
Hi,
wait,
Letha.
you guys haven't even gotten it. You guys need to keep up with that.
We're gonna get into it. So Sheila, I absolutely want to thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully you'll be on again. We'll take the next case. But yeah, that's like you were saying, that's my kind of case. That's something that, wow, it's got every element. It's sexy. It's, interesting. It's not cut and dry. Like, I keep saying, like, if Chris Watts would have gone to trial, I would have blown up. But I wasn't covering in case I knew he was guilty. We need another Making a Murderer. I need something that I can really dig into. That's something that it's like, boom, it's got every element to cover. So I definitely want to thank you guys. I'm going to plug it again. She has a Patreon. If you want first bit information, you go to Sheila Wysocki or Without Warning. The podcast called Without Warning. Are you changing that, or you're keeping that name, the Without Warning?
Without Warning.
Okay.
And just the name of the case will change.
Okay. And I am going to put the links in the bottom. And Sheila, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. It was wonderful. And I will check out the other case. You're starting the podcast when?
February 2nd for the Cruz case. And then I have an expose coming out on rape in colleges.
Okay. Do Patreons get it early?
I don't know. See, please understand, I'm an investigator first, so I'm like that duck, just constantly trying to keep up.
I hear you. I understand. You do better with emails than I do, I'll tell you that much.
I try.
Letha said her Patreon rocks. It does. I'm telling you, she's good. She sends out emails all the time. She's right on top of it. Say mine, say mine. Nini, you rock. And okay, so Ozzy just posted a link to the podcast. Also, Ozzy posted her Patreon. Thank you, Ozzy. And when's your next Facebook Live that you're doing?
I do. I have one probably in the next 2 weeks. I have to travel for work, so I'm going to be out for a little bit. Again, sometimes I'm up 23 hours, and then I need time to catch up.
All right. Sony, forget mine. Hi, Nini. All right. So again, I want to thank you for coming, and I really, really appreciate the interview, and I hope you have a wonderful night and have a safe trip. And I'll be in touch through Patreon.
All right. Thank you so much. I
have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, Gray.
So, what'd you guys think? That went really well, right? I'm sorry I didn't watch chat as much as I was going to. Hey, Melissa. Normally I watch chat during these things, and I didn't, so I apologize. I haven't done an interview in a while, though. It's been a while since I did one. But her Patreon really is good. Thank you, Supercell. She's very sweet, very intelligent. Thank you, Mara. Thank you, Poppy. Mesmerized. Thank you, all blue eyes. I wanted to do more interviews. What happened was I just didn't, I kind of got sidetracked, and it kind of just fell apart. Thank you, Melissa, even though you got in late. But I still want Ken Kratz on here. And I have to say, I was kind of reading, I didn't take your wrench. I didn't touch your wrench. I kept reading Whiskey's comments, and I was trying not to laugh. Because everyone else was serious, and then he would throw in these stupid comments, he knows it all, and I just had to laugh. Hey, Vapin. Shut up, Vapin. Thank you, Pat. Ready for some more true crime and a good case. Yeah, I'm going to check out that other case. Letha, are you familiar with it? Thank you, Letha. Puss in Boots, I swear I didn't take it away. I haven't touched it. You need to sleep. Oh, thank you, Daily Poppins, and thank you for the donation. She really is a great lady. Thank you, Winky. Yeah, some of you guys haven't seen my interviews before. Vaping, you don't kiss ashtrays? I quit, I promise. No, but Mommy at 3, I think I gave her one here, and I don't know what happened. You're welcome, Kelly. And don't forget, Christian cases are kind of, is it really lethal? All right, I'm going to look into it. Just so you guys know. Thanks, Vapin. Aw, thanks. You're making me feel good. Just so you guys know, and I hate to do this to you, but I have to. So from now on, I was going to do it with this one, and I was told absolutely not, because I already told you guys about it, so I can't do it like that. Thank you, Wendy. So just so you guys know, from now on, interviews are going to be for patrons only. Live interviews are going to be for them, and then I'm going to transfer it over to everyone else. So I know that's going to be rough for some, but I'm going to have to do it like that unless it's a case I already covered. Like if I have an interview with somebody from Making a Murderer, obviously I'm going to do that live regardless because this channel was built for Making a Murderer. So that's going to be a little different. So, but like I said, you can join Patreon for $5, 10, 20, 40, 50. Doesn't matter. So, Gray, how is my interview? I don't even know if Gray's still here. You're gonna force. That's right. I'm gonna force you to join Patreon. Until I get a steady following of interviews, which is what I want. Thank you, Tawanda. Gray went live. Snake. I'm going to ask him. Because we were kind of going head to head. Only a Patreon for 2 days. Thanks, old blue eyes. I have to get a hold of Bobby Brown. He's been promising me another interview like forever. Hey, Val, ask Gray. Say, so Gray, how was Laura's interview? Gray peeking in. I asked you to tell her she's a great role model. That's why I was saying, say mine. Oh, I didn't see it, honey. I'm sorry, Ninny. I could still tell her that, though. Because being that it was a first interview, like, I just wanted to get a lot of what I covered out there. And just kind of sum it all up. And I only spoke to her for about 15 minutes prior. And I told her, I said, normally for an interview, I send, like, the interviewee questions. I said, but I'm sure you know this case like the back of your hand, like you can answer anything. So, but I could still tell her that, Ninny. I'm a Patreon of hers. Me and Letha. Well, that was nice of him. He's mean to me. He is. He's very mean to me. You tell a good rapport. Thank you, Blue. I haven't done an interview yet that I didn't have a good rapport with, and that's honest. I can usually build a rapport with just about anyone except Gray Hughes. Me and Gray we have this love-hate thing. Then he always sticking up for Gray. Gray was mean. He turned out okay, but he was mean in the beginning. He's mean to everybody equally. Well, he's usually nice in chat. He turned around. No, you know what though? Gray was never into Making a Murderer, and Gray thinks that I'm just some like dum-dum that just speculates stuff and doesn't know what I'm talking about. And I try to tell him, Gray, I do know what I'm talking about. Speculation is not a bad thing. Hey, Steve. So where'd Whiskey go? He's going to put his theories together? The secret ones that you have to, I don't think Ken Kratz wanted your question. I still want to interview him. I would interview him at any day, any time. Absolutely, I would hit him up. It doesn't even matter if it's a year from now, I'd still do it. I think he's been attacked lately. Exactly, Serenity. That's exactly right. And that's what I was talking to Sheila about before the interview. That you were talking about Gray, because he's helped her a lot, especially with the model he showed us last night. If Nancy finished a plugged up investigation, she was telling me that like the model that he showed us has really, really helped, and he's done that for a couple of cases. I'm like, that's cool though. I don't have the time, but that's cool. I can't even figure out video editing. 20, yes, I know, even heart surgery. I hadn't gone to rehab. We've been out of hospital 2 days of surgery. I'd let you interview me, Laura. All right. As long as I've been here, I'm still not sure what Patreon is, except I'm not in any. Patreon it's like a VIP room for subscribers. There's no better way I can put it. I don't know why I still have the camera off. There's really no better way to put it than it's a VIP room. When I do uploads, which I haven't done in a while, but when you do uploads, Patreons get it first. Because I'm doing more lives than uploads, the one thing that I can give to them is the doing interviews for them only first, and a much smaller interview so everybody can have questions answered. Stay off YouTube tomorrow night. Just saying, a tornado shitstorm is coming. You know what, Mac? I'm going to address that real quick. I don't even know why it matters. I don't even give a shit. Like, I'm not friends with her. I don't care. I don't know why. I guarantee Diane's going to have like 1,000 people in there for horseshit. Like, who gives a shit? But that's just my opinion. Wags is on page 3 of 1,116 of Casa. That was a good one, Marty. That's going to be a fun debate. He's going to go down hard. Hard. No drama here. You favor Lady Gaga. Huh? Go Curly. For real, though. I don't know. I may go live tomorrow just for people that really want somebody to watch and don't want to watch that. I thought about it. I don't care if there's like 30 people in there. But just so somebody has somewhere else to go. I mean, you look like her. I wish I kissed Bradley. I don't think I look like her at all. She's got a long, big nose. I don't have a big nose. That looks much better. Damn, you look hot tonight. Awesome job. Aw, thanks, Vapin. Please do go live, Manana. I will. I have to go live. Because honestly, I don't care what this girl has to say. I really don't. Like, it's just going to be the opposite, and who cares? Thank you, Mac. Serenity, not a problem. I'll go live tomorrow. We'll just sit there and bullshit. But you know there's going to be a ton of people coming in saying, oh, this happened, this happened, this happened. Remember the meat dress? No, I don't. I know, right? Vaping with all the compliments tonight. Vaping, why are you complimenting me so much tonight? You never compliment me like that. Exactly, Serenity. That is my entire point. That it's like, who cares? Like, I honestly, I don't care what the girl has to say. Like, who gives a shit? A day late and a dollar short. Yeah, I don't know. It's just me. I just think, who cares? I'll be mowing the other half of the lawn tomorrow. I did half it today. Speaking of mowing the lawn, so I was mowing the lawn, And a little bunny rabbit, like a baby, goes running out from behind the tree in the front of my house. So I start mowing the side of my house, and the bunny is at the neighbor's house, like waiting for me to finish lawn mowing on that side. And I get really close to him, and everybody knows you can't get really close to a wild rabbit because they run. He didn't run away, but he wasn't hurt because I saw him run. Why would that be? Did anyone know? I took a picture of it, but does anyone know why that would happen? The nest was, I know, I saw like, by my air conditioner thing, there was bushes and stuff, so I didn't mow it because I didn't want to, like, I was like, you know what, I tried looking in it, but I couldn't tell if there was anything in it. I was like, I feel bad. I didn't run over the baby. No, I didn't run over the baby, and I didn't run over the nest. Anything that looked like there could be a nest there, I left alone. Yeah, Buka will eat it. Buka will destroy it. They have tunnels underground. Really? I think the bunny's a spy. The bunny had a camera of me mowing my lawn. I have them here on our land. There must be a nest near. Yeah, it was such a baby, and he just stayed there. He was like, he just waited. We have baby bunnies. See, the bunny goes in the back, and the dogs destroy it. I can't even tell you how many bunnies I've picked up, destroyed. Disgusting. But I don't know what their nest looks like, so I just kind of left all the big bushes alone. Bunny fluffers. No, you could tell they're wild ones or that grayish color. But I just felt so bad because it was just standing there like waiting for me to finish. I was like, oh yeah, Bunny Gate. Bunny belongs to the one and only you-know-who. Huh? Must have been in a bikini. No, babe, I wasn't in a bikini. I was in pajama shorts and a t-shirt. Special, yeah. Jackrabbit nest are under bushes. Yeah, see, those kind of bushes I left alone. Mara, I have not. But she was just like standing. She was just like sitting there against the wall. And I was like, wow. Hang on, I gotta let the dog in. Oh. Hey, Claudia. I could have sworn I saw her the other day. Oh, I definitely do not look hot mowing the lawn. That I can tell you. My hair is up in a ponytail. I have no makeup on. I wear a sweatshirt wrapped around my waist so that my phone could stay in there with my headphones on. And I sweat like a mofo. Don't like mowed lawns. When I was a kid watching Westerns with Dad, I always cried over horses. Fabian, why are you so loving me today? You've never been so lovable. Steve Tim smacks me in the head. So I got 15 minutes and I'm going to shut down. And then I'm going to figure out this D-Live. This new program. Usually dig a small hole and the babies in there are covered. It's like a hiding in plain sight, and Mom only comes for a short time. Whiskey might be hot mowing the lawn. Whiskey doesn't mow the lawn. He's too lazy. Patreon. On Patreon, the Discord link is broken. Oh, I haven't even used the Discord. Because that's just as unsafe as everything else. When does Sage come back? Sage is supposed to come back on the 19th. However, my mom may keep her. Depending if they could change her flight, my mom may keep her there for another week and a half, and then she's going to come here with them. And then everyone's going to be here, plus my mom and her boyfriend. But the Discord link... Hold on, I'll get it for you right now. He's probably using a riding mower. Detective Wags, oh my god, I was cracking up. I don't know where he went, though. Hold on, I'm getting the link. I know I have a full house. I'm going to go from empty to full. Over full. Have private Patreon rooms made yet? No, they have not yet. Private Patreon rooms have not been made yet. They're going to shortly. I promise. Buka, get down. Ow. Nope. Alright, I'll do it after. I don't know why it's not working. But just looking for PURPLEXEDQT, Mac. I'm gonna get the link for the Discord. For some reason, it's not working. I don't know why. You're glowing today probably because the drama had you miserable. Or because I'm sweating. I looked. Oh my god, I looked. If anything happens to me, investigate my neighbor. My neighbor just moved out. I saw him with the rental truck. I was like, oh, he moved. Heard Tawanda don't mow her lawn. I like mowing. I really do. I don't mind it. I can think of much better ways than a mower. I really don't mind doing it. It's just hot. It is what it was like 90 degrees when I mowed the lawn. But I had to do it. It was getting too high, but I only got half done. Invites. Out. Create an instant invite. Okay. Invites. Here we go. All right. Mac. All right, Old Blue Eyes. I could put yours in Facebook. All right. So, old Blue Eyes, I just put it in chat, and and okay. And Mac, I'll put it in Patreon after the live. At least I'm mowing, you see it done. That is true. Jackie, that's funny. I know, Tina, and it's a good workout, especially my hill. You got to see this hill. This hill is like insane. Absolutely insane. I have a damn tractor that mows, and my tractor is sexy. E1 there. Need the link and things. All right, hold on. There you go, Mac. I just put it in. Whoops. I don't have any creepy neighbors either. Had a neighbor want to show me his basement? Yeah, that's a little freaky. Tractor, I need to show you how to drive a tractor. I don't need to drive a tractor. Then you don't get any exercise. Then you just sit on your butt. See what I need? I need a lawnmower that has a big light so I can mow the lawn at night when it's cooler. That's what I want. Vaping, why are you so, you're never like this. If we keep our damn mower running, then I'll be better. No, it's work too. Not really. It's not that much work. Vaping is frisky. I've seen Vaping a long time. He's never been this complimentary. Ever. It's super solid. I had a guy whose home I went to because my mom found something online. He was in his garage and then said, follow me. And he had a knife on the side of his pant. Nice. That's scary as hell. I have a bright headlight flashlight that works well. I'm telling you, that's what I need. I need like a big flashlight, like a big light to put on and just mow the lawn at night. But then again, I mean, I could probably mow some of it at night anyway. Buka. He crushed the frost to go out. Yeah, that's scary shit. Vaping a murder. Because right now, Discord's only for patrons. But I'm going to change it. So you guys want to hear what I did this morning? Like, funny story? So I go to bed. I wake up. Now, I have to work today. I get up like an hour and a half after I'm supposed to be up. I'm moseying around my house. I'm thinking it's Sunday. I go to sit down on my computer. Oh my God, it's fucking Monday. I have to get to work. So I start laughing at myself. I'm like, oh my God, put a big L on my forehead. I'm like, I can't lie. Like, I'm not going to lie to my boss. I'm going to tell him the truth. I thought today was Sunday. So I go into work like 2.5 hours late. I said, I'm so sorry. I was like, I totally thought today was Monday. I mean Sunday. Buka! Sit down. Book is sitting on the bed. He's not moving. Hey, bad wolf. That's 2 guys complimenting me tonight. Don't let these cheap imitations. I have another suggestion for your channel name. I'm not going to change it. I already got merch for it and everything. Isn't that just hilarious, Supercell? I couldn't believe I did it. Buka! Come here. So annoying. I don't know why Winston just doesn't jump on the bed. But yeah, I couldn't believe I did it. I'm like, so I went in and I told my boss, like, I work from home, but I clocked in and I told her, I am so sorry, dude. I was like, I totally overslept. I was like, and I woke up and I thought it was Sunday. I'm like moseying around the house for an hour. He's like, well, thank God you made it on time. I said, I did. Look what you're doing. Well, Bad Wolf always compliments me. But vaping was like weird. Yeah, bachelorette life. That's exactly right. Fluffer needs fixed. Fluffer needs to get laid. Big time. Big time. I need to bring her over to my friend's house. Let him get a little something. You're weird now? Why are you weird, vaping? I'm just saying, like, so many compliments tonight. Vaping. I said it. I said what? Fix. Fluff will still want to do it. Yeah, I should have gotten fixed when he was a baby. Because Buka was fixed when he was 6 weeks old. Buka never wants a girl. Like, ever. He could care less about it. He never even thinks about it. Yeah, it should be a little bit out of his league. We'd have to hold him. Could you imagine that? Like, a Great Dane and Maltese puppies? That would be so weird. So weird. Our Shelties were worse after being fixed. Oh, no shit. No, I'm not Ben or John or Jay. No, I would hope not. Vapin, you've been around a long time. Yeah, that would be really weird. But I should have got him fixed when he was a baby, and I wouldn't even have to worry about it. But I just thought, you know, he's a full-bred Maltese. I paid a lot of money for him. Let him have a litter of puppies. Yeah, a Grandies. I think our drama channel should be about Dave and stuff. That will keep all of us out of trouble. I think Snickers is in heat. A lot of people need to get laid. And that's true. Thank you, Katia. Then we'll call you Laura Dogs. Watch vaping as Harry. Yeah, right? Can you imagine? No, vaping's been in here with everyone else. I remember seeing vaping for a couple of months now. I think. Yeah, Harry's a lot of people, but Harry's cool. I got no problems with Harry. So I got a question. Is anybody getting notifications for DLive or nobody's getting any notifications? Not Harry. The playground is well groomed. Vaping Bachelor's hot. All right, Huckleberry. You asked Harry a serious question and she left. Oh, she was here before? No notification. I don't know why. I don't know how people get notifications. Yeah, I don't know why nobody gets notifications. I heard it's something that I can change on my end. I mean, really, I'm just gaming. I'm not, like, doing much. I'm just gaming. On DLive, I have to log in each day. Who knows, but at least they won't hurt Laura. I didn't get notified either. It's weird. You get them. You got them, BLT? Like I said, I'm really just gaming on DLive. When you leave, you get them for the next 2 days. So log in often to get... I've gone on every day. I don't get any but one. Now, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how people are getting them. I get, but from Oni, not yours. I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know. So, all right. So, I'm going to shut down. This went 2 hours, I believe. Yeah, 2 hours. I am probably going to be on... There's Harry. I love people that, like, you say their name and boom, there they are. So I am going to be on DLive in 30 minutes doing some gaming. I'm trying to find a good horror game. So once that happens, then you guys come visit me. I haven't decided if I'm going to do this air game, this ace game, which looks really good. Good night, Susan. Thank you, Serenity. Thank you, Old Blue Eyes. Harry, how do you get notified? Go on Laura Keck, not going to DLive too hard. I've been talking to you guys for a half hour. What else am I going to talk about? Hugs and have fun in DLive. Laura Keck, Sage, and Gabby need to CV. I agree. Sage won't be back for another couple of weeks. The longer, the better. As of right now, it's like 10 days. No, I don't want it back in 10 days. I want them all to stay away. I like my single life. Single life is yummy. It's wonderful. Believe me, it's wonderful. This is why I didn't want kids to begin with. No, I'm just kidding. I love my babies. But yeah, from now on, they're getting all shipped out in the summer. People are sub to you, then they'll get notifications by you when you are on. How is the baby? Is she having fun? They're all having fun. I just spoke to Dayton today. Laura, I'm single in an extra room. I know what you can talk about. You can talk about all these women damn here with men's names. Yeah, a lot of people are subbed. Not that we would need it. Vapin, what is up with you? You've never acted like this. Something's up. Seriously, you've never ever acted like it. You're out of trouble. He's too sweet to do much of anything else. I'm not silly. You haven't. Alright, so that's all. So tomorrow night, I'll be on the other channel, just so you guys have somewhere to go. Single too, quite happy. Jill, I totally agree. Trying to coax you into aborting our exes. That's Vapin. His picture is hot. That's a couple of people says you were hot, Vapin. Vapin, is that you in your picture? She can't wait to get on the D, folks. Hey, it's better than nothing. No, actually, the reason why I want to get on it is I got this whole thing for it. And I just want to see if it works. This whole overlay that is in different colors. It's not yellow, it's purple. And yes, that is his picture. Vaping, you're in California too, right? Won't be on tomorrow until later evening. Vaping, you're in Cali, right? We'll go on, go. Shut up, Bad Wolf. North Carolina. Okay. I never lie, although I stretch the truth a bit. Hey, does anyone... Mara, do you know how Alexis's kid is? Didn't he have surgery today? Was it today or tomorrow he was getting surgery? I'm on the East Coast, not West. North Carolina's not bad. Tomorrow. Thank you. I knew it was either today or tomorrow. I wasn't sure. So, all right. So, hopefully you guys will get notifications. Not too far away at all. 10-hour surgery. Yeah, I know. Hopefully only 10 hours. So, I'm glad everyone enjoyed the interview. I thought it went really well. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. I'm closer than Wags. Anybody's closer than Wags. Wags is so far away. If you pray for Alexis' son. Love you too, Tawanda. Patreon, I'll speak to you guys. Let her know that you're okay releasing it. I speak to her all the time, Harry. So again, I'm gonna go live tomorrow night just for you guys who don't really give a fuck what this girl has to say on Diane's channel, because honestly I don't. And that's it. So I will see you guys tomorrow night, or I'll see you tonight on DLive if you want to visit me, if I can get this thing working. So peace, and I will see you guys tomorrow.